At the edge of the Seversky Forest, eastern Ukraine. 2 hours before the explosion, 2 Abrams tanks stood silently like steel fortresses. Their barrels pointed toward the route where Russian troops were expected to advance. The air was cold and thick, signaling the decisive moment was approaching. The Ukrainian unit had been lying in wait all night in absolute silence. The Abrams crew checked their operations to keep their spirits up. In the trenches, young soldiers made final checks of their maps and supplies. They knew the Russians had gathered, and that this morning would be a moment of life and death. In the bunker, under red lights, the soldiers' weary faces glowed with absolute determination. They were fighting not only for this forest, but for the peace of the people sleeping hundreds of kilometers away. At 6:45 a.m., in the thick, cold fog, a loud explosion suddenly rang out from deep within the forest. The cause was a Russian tank that had hit an anti-tank mine planted by Ukrainian forces. The ground at the command post immediately shook, signaling clearly. A large formation of Russian tanks and armored vehicles had entered the danger zone. At the same time, a Ukrainian unmanned aerial vehicle, UAV, transmitted clear images. The screen in the command bunker showed a giant armored convoy trying to move. They were slow but did not stop, looking like a steel snake slithering along, kicking up dust and rocks. Inside the 2 M1 Abrams main battle tanks, the tension was palpable. Dim green electronic lights illuminated the highly focused faces of the crew. Despite the immense psychological pressure, the cold fear of being overwhelmed by explosions, they functioned like machines. They checked and rechecked the observation equipment and gun controls with precision, maintaining absolute accuracy in preparation for the upcoming battle. 6:55 a.m., Ukrainian artillery immediately opened fire. The M777 towed howitzers delivered a barrage of accurate fire onto the enemy's formation nodes. The goal was to disrupt the command system and slow their advance, forcing the formation to scatter from its intended path. The Russians reacted immediately and fiercely. Their counter-battery fire came back with Musta-S 152mm self-propelled guns. The pressure from the massive explosion was so great that it collapsed a section of Ukraine's crucial trenches. In that moment of chaos, the forward medical team had to hastily retreat to the rear, carrying the first casualties. Blood was shed. This was the painful and brutal beginning of a relentless confrontation. 7:05 a.m. The battlefield suddenly erupted into chaotic turmoil when Russia launched a surprise attack from the northeast. It was an assault force consisting of BMP infantry fighting vehicles and BTR armored personnel carriers, designed for rapid movement and penetration. Their appearance completely shattered Ukraine's tactical predictions about the terrain in that area. This surprise immediately caused serious damage. A Ukrainian platoon was cut off from the main force. At the same time, an important reconnaissance drone was shot down, greatly reducing the ability to monitor the situation. Even the communication system was jammed by the enemy, making it extremely difficult to coordinate firepower and defensive formations. On the front line, 2 Abrams tanks, which had been serving as a psychological shield, now became the main targets and had to endure constant fire pressure from enemy anti-tank weapons and artillery. The crews were forced to perform a tactical retreat of several meters to adjust their firing angles and disperse their firepower, preserving their formation. At headquarters, the Ukrainian commander recognized an extremely serious threat. The enemy's breakthrough attack in the northeast meant that the entire rear area had been left exposed. This would allow Russian troops to easily advance deep into the rear and cut off and isolate Ukrainian defense units. Facing a life-or-death situation and the risk of complete isolation, Ukraine was forced to launch a full-scale counterattack, combining technology and armor. "7:15 a.m. Just as everything seemed to be collapsing, a final backup mini-drone was activated. It flew low, evading fire, and quickly discovered that the enemy formation had created a critical gap on the left flank, where transport and supply vehicles were clustered. This golden piece of intelligence was relayed back to headquarters, providing an opportunity to turn the tide. Артилерія імедійно вивела барели of своїх М777 Howitzers, firing rapidly із extreme accuracy на нові координати. Amidst the smoke and dust, 2 M1 Abrams main battle tanks unexpectedly switched from defense to decisive counterattack. They advanced a short distance, using their thick armor and speed to create enormous psychological pressure. The sudden appearance of these 2 steel giants amid the smoke posed a direct threat, forcing the chaotic enemy soldiers to disperse their forces to respond. The presence of the Abrams was a clear statement Ukraine's defenses remained intact and ready for battle. While the Abrams applied pressure and drew the enemy's main firepower, soldiers in the trenches used not only rifles, but also javelins to lock onto targets and launch FPV drones equipped with anti-tank warheads. While the Abrams distracts attention, the high-speed, low-flying FPVs silently target support vehicles and panicked infantry fighting vehicles, inflicting fatal damage and paralyzing the enemy's mobility. Under the combined pressure and chaos from the precise strikes, the enemy formation realized their offensive intent had completely failed. The order to retreat was given. The 2 Abrams tanks excelled in their mission, along with the support of other units, successfully holding the line and turning a potential defeat into an important tactical victory on the battlefield. The battle in the Seversky Forest was not only a tactical victory, but also a testament to the indomitable will and unity of the Ukrainian people. Russia paid a heavy price, with 7 tanks, an entire armored vehicle company, and 3 supply transport vehicles burned to the ground, resulting in over 80 soldiers killed or wounded. Meanwhile, Ukraine suffered only minor losses: a reconnaissance drone shot down, some damaged infrastructure, and a few soldiers with minor injuries. But behind those numbers, the emotional toll of war still weighs heavily, like darkness enveloping strong hearts. Finally, in the flickering light of the field hospital, a young nurse gently touched the badge on Dmytro's shirt, the 22-year-old soldier from a small town. The minor wound from shrapnel did not dim the fiery belief in his eyes. In his worn backpack, his comrades found an unsent letter, written in shaky handwriting. "Mom, I will return when the skies are peaceful, when the sirens no longer wake you in fear. I promise to hug you, just like when I was a child." Those lines were like a prayer, both fragile and powerful, conveying the hope for a day without war. The commander, standing silently before the letter passed around the bunker, gently folded it, and his eyes etched the days of battle. A vow rang out in his heart: we are not only fighting to keep our land or protect Siversky. We are fighting so that boys like Dmytro no longer have to write fragile promises in letters. With faith in victory, we will bring glory to Ukraine so that mothers no longer have to wake up in fear. We fight not only for freedom, but also for a future without war. The war is long, but our unwavering will and courageous spirit not only light the way ahead, but are also the flame of undying faith. They not only hold the line, but also protect the hope for a tomorrow where the sky is blue and life is no longer tainted by war. May God bless us, and may glory belong to Ukraine, a resilient nation that will never surrender.